If there was one movie you could completely delete from reality, what would it be? I would remove the movie The Mandela Effect, because it would cause mass confusion and lead on to the topic of the Mandela Effect and people would go insane. Seriously. Had this conversation with my boyfriend right after we watched it. I told him I wouldn't be surprised if they erased this movie soon just to with people. And if I had anything to do with it, I totally would as well. The live action Dragon Ball movie. It's just sad. Didn't know one existed. Probably for a reason. Edit. Oh god, that's bad. I started watching it and it was so bad I regret everything. Imagine Dragon Ball if Goku was a generic D-list high school movie character. This is the entire film. Also he's kinda emo and the Kamehameha is just fancy airbending. You know a movie is going to be bad when it has the same ability as the last Airbender movie. Fun fact. That movie was so horrendously bad that it encouraged Akira Toriyama, creator of the Dragon Ball series, to come out of retirement. Then he produced 2 movies, Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Gods, and Dragon Ball Z, Resurrection F, both of which were adapted into the anime series Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, when they first floated a big budget Dragon Ball movie, he was semi-involved in it. There had been 2 others before this, and some say are still better than this. They are all bad. From what I heard, he was excited at the prospect of a good Dragon Ball movie. He said he never heard back from them until they called him up to see some of it. He felt let down again, and it led to what you have stated. The 3rd and 4th Mummy. Let the Mummy Returns be the gold standard for sequels. Edit. So many gold quality sequels have entered this chat. Let the Mummy Returns be the gold standard for sequels. Terminator 2 has entered the chat. Artemis Fowl. There are enough issues with the film to make even a casual watcher hate it. Forget about those who read the books. They went beyond screwing up. He has a butler named Domovoy Butler. Me. Visible anger. But no one ever calls him Butler. That was a deliberate slap in the face to everyone who read and loved the books as children. Like you. This isn't your story anymore. We are gonna take a steamy dump all over it, and there's nothing you can do. Yeah. Like the butler in the book, had absolute control all the time. He's not going to flip you out of rage. I was more annoyed by that than by them telling us his name. The lore is that the Butler family have been so good at what they do for so long that the word butler came into popular use because of their family name. That film makes it seem like the butlers in its world are all awful. There's 2 that come right to the top of my mind. One, the live action Avatar, TLA. And the second, Eragon. Honestly, Eragon is probably the winner in my mind. It's a 4-part book series that could have made fantastic movies. But whoever made the first movie had apparently never read the books, because they made some seriously critical errors that made a second book narratively impossible. Yeah, they should just friggin' redo that. Loads of potential. Dragon Ball Evolution. That movie is horrible. Thank you for commenting. I was beginning to wonder if nobody was going to say anything. That's because we don't talk about it. Eragon. One of the most disappointing movies of my lifetime. I've seen this answer so often I have fortunately avoiding seeing that movie. If you've read the books, don't. Just don't. If you've never touched the books before, it's okay. Doesn't even matter, I don't think. I watched with a friend who hadn't read it, and she had no idea what was going on most of the time. XD. The Dark Tower. Well, all realities. There are other worlds than these. Did her chum? Did her chuck? Sony Pictures. What the? The Dark Tower. Stephen King fans waited years and years and years for this movie, only for a 90-minute bull parade that didn't scratch the surface of the story. The 4th Harry Potter, so people will wonder why they made all the movies, but just skip the 4th. I like the way you think. Artemis Fowl 2020. This Disney up of a movie was complete garbage, and it pissed off the fan base. If the rights were given to Peter Jackson of Lotta, he would stayed with the damn law and made it 10x better than whatever Disney Corp wanted it to be. Kissing Booth. No Kissing Booth. No Kissing Booth 2. That movie. I love how the main character has no aspirations of her own. It's especially evident in the second movie when she is forced to choose between the school her boyfriend goes to or the school her best friend wants to go to. Like, what about the school you want to go to? And she somehow gets accepted to Harvard. That's absurd. Any even moderately competitive school makes you fill out so many essays and personal statements that there's pretty much no way to even get past the application process unless you're quite serious about going there. Presumably by design. Son of the Mask. That movie is so bad that even though I know for a fact that I have definitely seen it, I do not recall one single detail of it. I completely blocked it from memory. 50 Shades of Grey. Period. Two birds with one stone. It would also rid us of its hellspawn. 365 days. Probably the main Dianetics video. Then maybe the religion wouldn't have spread so much. Though it is nice to have a baby religion to point to as an example, since so many of the others are comparatively ancient. The emoji MOF. Also, how TF is the eggplant emoji unpopular in a movie about a high schooler? This guy's asking the right questions. Cats. I don't know what the director was thinking with cats. Everyone will rue the day they stop the release of the butthole cut. Muahaha. No worries. Someone added in a few buttholes, and in a few cases, the anatomically correct number of nipples for a cat. 2. Edit. Thank you for the gold. My first gold is about cat butts and cat nipples. Note to self. Make more cat butt and nipple references. I didn't like Rebel Wilson before. Now I really don't like her and her cat butthole. The live action Avatar: The Last Airbender. This was the movie I had in mind when I was writing this question. I just finished the TV series and the movie is terrible. The one good thing to come of it was James Newton Howard's score. Flow Like Water deserved so much better than that film. Yeah, but the Ox soundtrack is way better. And I forget the next part, but then it goes. Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. In the mountains. Secret, 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 secret. Soft applause. Whenever I go through a tunnel on the motorway, I sing that softly to myself. My wife thinks I'm mad. I think she may be right, but that's not the point. She thinks you're mad because you sing it softly. You gotta own that. Shout it out, my friend. Netflix's Death Note. I still don't get how it shows up under the horror genre on Netflix. It's mostly a comedy. It's like they looked at the anime/manga and thought, hey, they kids love the spooky aspect and that scary looking dude. Forget the cat and mouse game. Light has to be a relatable teen. He can't be smart or a sociopath. He has to be clumsy and relatable. Oh, and L. We'll keep him the same. But he's more in your face rather than hands off. See, I wasn't familiar with Death Note, so I watched the movie first and thought it was watchable. And then I watched the anime and thought, holy, the movie sucks balls. Can I delete season 8 of Game of Thrones instead? A Serbian film. The Wikipedia entry summary is something I wish I can delete from my mind. It's shocking for shock value. It's poorly done, to be honest, and not nearly as bad as it sounds. It's amateurish. If it had been made by the right people, it would have been the most macabre film ever, but it wasn't. Go watch Irreversible if you really want to yourself up. I saw Irreversible in the movie theater when it first came out. People got up and left. I don't know what was worse, the 9-minute rape scene, or the scene where the guy gets his head bashed in with the fire extinguisher. We sat through the whole thing, and it's honestly one of the only movies I would never watch again. I don't know what it is with the French, but they make some of the most relentlessly brutal movies. Irreversible, Martyrs, Inside, and Maniac are all movies that are left feeling uneasy. While American movies can be brutal, they are typically very pulpy, making the violence pretty comical. Irreversible is definitely the topper on that list. That one and Hachi are the only movies I would actively refuse to watch again. Martyrs is the only movie to really me up as an adult. Over a decade later, I'm still afraid I'll dream about it and get stuck in that world. Specifically seeing that woman in the state she's in. That terrified me far more than the sustained another character takes, which, honestly, just seemed mean-spirited and nihilistic and cold. Made its point in about 1 minute of screen time.